Hey guys, it's Random, and today I have something a bit different for you today. Now, on my channel over the last 4 or 5 months, I don't know how long it's been to be honest, but all I've really done is uploaded gameplays of myself having some really decent matches on mainly Black Ops Modern Warfare 3 and now Black Ops 2. And I thought instead of just showing myself doing well that I would try and help you guys out. Obviously some of you won't need advice on what classes to use, but I'm just going to give you an idea of what kind of classes that I use to get my gameplays, because I think that would be a good thing to do, and just show you what kind of class I use to do the majority of my matches. Now first off, I'm going to start and show you my score streaks that I use for this well, not just for this class, but what I use in general. Now, as you can see, I am using the Orbital VSAT as my first kill streak. Now that is quite adventurous for my first kill streak, and I admit I don't hit it every game, but I do go on streaks of games where I hit it every time. But there are games, like 3 or 4 games in a row, where I won't hit it at all, and just an occasional game where I don't. But for the games that you do hit it, it's definitely worth it, because to get the lodestar you only need another 300 points, and the assists you get from the VSAT and just like a couple of kills because of the VSAT will easily get you your lodestar. Now the Swarm is the last one that I use, and I used to use Dogs, but Dogs don't get me that many kills, so I use Swarm, and it is harder to get. I do sometimes die before I get my Swarm, but when you get it, it is definitely worth it, so I do recommend trying that out if you don't. But anyway, I need to start off with the class, and first off, the gun that I'm using is the MSMC, and the reason I'm starting with this gun is because it's the most used gun, and I've prestiged it twice and it's gold, so I have used this gun a lot. And the attachments I always use on this gun are foregrip and extended clip, or extended mags, whatever you like to call it. And the reason I use this is because it's not the best from distance, so you need the extra bullets in the clip to kill someone if they're at a long range. And I find you always find people in groups of 3, so you can kill them all with the 40 bullets that you get in the clip. And because I usually use fast mags on certain guns just so I can reload and shoot again. But for this gun, because it's so powerful and you use extended mags, you don't really need to reload that often unless it's from range. So that's the main reason I use this, and obviously I use foregrip to keep the recoil down, because at first I didn't think there was any, but the more and more you use a gun, the more it recoils, so I put foregrip on it just to control that. Now, perk 1, I'm using Hardline, and the main reason I use this is just so I could get my score streaks quicker, because I use such high score streaks. I used to use lightweight, and I do like jumping off buildings with lightweight, but apart from the spawn rush, I don't really see any other point in having it, because you just run faster in to die if it's not the spawn rush, if you know what I mean. That's the kind of attitude I have towards it. Perk 2 is Toughness and Scavenger, and the main reason I use these two is, well, you know why I'm using Scavenger, for the bullets, but also I like to scavenge Bouncing Betties because they are so overpowered it is ridiculous. And also, I don't think many people on YouTube use Toughness. I've only seen a couple of people's classes and they don't use perk 2 at all really. They use one perk, but they never use perk 2 Greed. But for me, perk 2 Greed is the main one that I use, and I do need Toughness at all times. It just means so when you get shot, because usually I shoot people first and they'll always get a shot off on me, but because if I don't have Toughness on, then my gun will recoil up and I always miss. I don't know why, but with Toughness it will just stay down and I'll kill them, and that is the main reason I use it, just so I don't get bullshit after me shooting them first. And as I was saying about Bouncing Betties, this is why I use Engineer, because there's so many Bouncing Betties lately. The first 4 or 5 days the game came out I didn't have any, but now I seem to have them constantly. It's ridiculous. And you do get points, I think it's 50 points for destroying equipment, and you can spot them annoying shockwaves as well, which really piss me off because they're so overpowered and it kind of gives you a position away. So that's the main reason that I use Engineer as my third perk. And obviously I use the Bouncing Betty because it's overpowered, as I said. And finally, the tactical, I use Concussion. Now, I've tried the 4 that I've unlocked here. The Sensor Grenade, for me, first I thought it was the Portable Radar, but then I noticed that you throw it and then it will tell you if anyone's like close by to the sensor, but then it will disappear and it will blow up. And I've actually died to it because I was so weak, because it does a tiny bit of damage, and as I was so red it killed me. So that was when I took it off. Shock Charge, it is a good thing to use, but I was too dependent on it. I'd spawn and just throw them constantly and it would get me loads of deaths because I was just throwing it all the time. I don't really know why, but and the reason I don't use flashbangs over concussions, it used to be because concussions were quicker to throw, but my aim, if you've seen me throw grenades, I kind of throw them at myself at a wall and kill myself. So I do that with stuns and flashbangs a lot, but flashbangs seem to stun you a lot more, lot longer, sorry, especially when you do it to yourself. So that's why I use concussions, just for the fact that when I throw at a wall, which I do more regular than I'd like to, well, I don't even plan to do it, but I do it so much it's retarded. So that's the main reason I use concussion. And that's the class setup for this SMG, and I will do some more in the future on other SMGs and light machine guns, assault rifles, and I will do shotguns as well. But I won't be doing snipers. I might do one, but I'm not a big fan of snipers, so don't expect that because that won't be happening. And I'm gonna leave it here, and I will see you guys later. Actually, I'll see you guys at the end of the week because I've got a really nice gameplay saved up, and you won't be disappointed because it is a good match. So I'll see you guys later.